good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever it may be around the world. Welcome to qualifying for Silverstone, the Grand British Grand Prix. So we have one document that we have to go over. Uh, at the end of qualifying, during a red flag, no less, we had Ollie Behrman come to pits weirdly, and Max Verstappen had a great front view view of what happened. Um, and basically, essentially, is as he turned 15 into 16, basically, as he turned 15, Ollie basically charged into the pits at I forget the amount, but it was an excessive amount of speed, and then lost control of the car when he tried the pits. And he bounced off barriers and spun around. And again, Max had this lovely view of Ollie just screwing up. Yeah, it was out. No, it wasn't out of nowhere. It was he perfectly sped up his car to do a let's do a race run stop. And the problem is that his brakes were cold because we were under another red flag already. And so he crashed the car up. So he's got damage on the car. They'll be able to, he'll go back. He'll be able to go out in Q1 and do whatever. But he's got a 10 pace grid drop because of this silliness. And I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's just straight up silliness. Wow, we got a crazy prediction here. I want to change the Q1 prediction. Both Red Bulls and both Alpines and Ocon go out. I mean, both Alpines, I can see that. Ocon going out, but both Red Bulls, that's a hard one to. We've seen Yuki go out, but to say Max go out is going to go Q1, that's a wild prediction. Yeah, what happened already is that Barlow crashed on that last minute of, and we have no clue where his suspension is. I mean, it broke violently. Like normally that wheel is supposed to tuck under, and that tuck under violently, and something popped off as well. So. Assuming Behrman's car is fixed, we're assuming, yeah. We're about 2 minutes to go before green light for Q1. Doesn't seem to be any race control messages saying that we're going to be delayed because F2 or F3 were bad boys and did something silly or tore up the track and left marbles over the place. I want to thank Hyperl over in Twitch chat. I want to thank Dark Mayu, Andrew Paula, Chase here. People I'm counting on are in YouTube chat that have subscribed. You are green. You been subscribed. Please say something so I can call you out. Yeah, these are the people in green. They've got a badge by their name. They're either me or someone is they're paying for their subscription for this month. Those who subscribe month over month, they get a free super chat and type something in chat. Yes. Also, those if you want to ask questions in chat, I'm in both YouTube and Twitch chat. I've just typed my name into chat. We got Max fans in chat. I also know a couple of Hamilton fans show up. I know there's some Lando fans. Who got the red penalty? That would be Ollie Behrman for being stupid. He crashed his car by speeding up under red flags. It's a red flag violation. There was no reason for it. No reason whatsoever. I usually don't roast a driver, but this was really, what are you thinking? Jay's been a member for 21 months. Giddy up, Max. Giddy up, go. Again, you will see our Max fans active in chat. Don't antagonize them. Don't be like, oh, how's the Max doing now when he doesn't do well? No, no, no. Because you're probably going to get your behind handed to you by Max when you do that. And I've seen it too many times, even this year. A lot of people want to believe in Ferrari so bad, man. You know what? Right now, we want to believe in Hamilton right now. That's really, really the situation, is that Hamilton is the master here at Silverstone. I mean, just historically, he's just been just good here, bottom line. And we've just gone green light on Q1. Hulkenberg and Bartolello first, then Hulkenberg are going to coming out. So the Stake Boys, the green that shall be gone next season, are coming out. What's your favorite team? I don't have a favorite team. Again, this is one of the advice I gave, is I tend to play the field and enjoy, like, when a team is doing well, I enjoy. I'm known to make fun of Tavosis and Ferrari and Hamilton fans. But when Hamilton does well, I'm happy for Hamilton. So I'm not heartless. Stroll is third, Gasly is fourth, and Colapino is fifth onto the grid. So goal is right now, the early, is to get out and get a banker lap, so you've got something on the books. Start the pecking order, essentially. We've got Albon now on grid. Max was on ice skate before he met Hamilton. And what does the weather look like? Getting a secondary. There is weather in the area. That is something to be concerned about. So only 6 drivers out right now. It is early. Again, we've got 18 minutes in this first session, already gone through 2 minutes. What decides which car leaves the pit first? The teams do. The team. It's a team decision. Weather in England? Yeah. Weather in New England? Even worse. L Cook is here. Hey, Al. And so we've got our first. So all the drivers right now are on their first out lap. We say on their first hot lap, except for Albon. Here comes Albon coming around. Then we got a slew of cars moving in the pits. Verstappen is out. Antonelli's out. Norris is coming out. Comes Bartolello. He's about to come around 17. He's going to finish the first lap. Bartolello does a 127.4. It's not really a great number. Here comes Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg goes wide. He stays on track, but he goes wide. Hulkenberg goes third. Stroll, Hulkenberg went 2, is now third. Stroll is top of the board, 127.4. Here comes the Alpines. Gasly does a 127.11. Colapino does a 127.600. Right now, Albon right now is fastest first and second sector. He probably might take third to start off. Colapino has third right now. Albon comes to 16. He's flying right now. Flying with the wind. Here comes Albon to the line. He goes top of the board as expected. He goes, the gap is 668 to Colapino. It's a full purple lap. Here comes Verstappen, Anthony, and Norris. They are on their outlap right now, and we're getting pretty much everyone out on track at this point. Alonso, Russell, Isaac, Behrman, and Ocon. And so Verstappen start on his flying lap. Anthony on a flying lap. Norris now flying on a flying lap. Sonoda will be on this flying lap in a moment. As expected, Barlow is going to pit. We do have a prediction over in Twitch chat. Who will get poll today? I know we had a poll over in YouTube chat. The only options are Lando, Verstappen, Oscar, Leclerc, or someone else. Oh, go for Hamilton. Got some new times coming up on the board. Again, Stroll is coming in fourth. So again, so in the first six was Albon, Colpino, Gasly, Stroll, Berlo, Hulkenberg. Max had gone to the top of the board with a 351 gap. And Danelli goes third, 472 gap. Norris goes second, 124, so eighth of a second. Max had fastest first and second sector. Had the third sector until Norris took it from him. So right now, Leclerc all the way down to Alonso all are on flying laps. Leclerc goes P3, 126.390. We're going to have Oscar, then Hamilton come to the line. Oscar's top of the board, 39 thousandths, fastest third sector. Here comes Hamilton. Hamilton goes fourth, 294. We've seen Hamilton go faster. Alonso to third. We have not seen the Aston Martins show up today or yesterday. So this is odd to see Alonso in the mix right now in P3. Russell's P5. Right now, Sonoda is technically driver at risk, but he has not set a representative time. Barron, Isaac, Lawson, Sainz, and Ocon haven't set times until now. Lawson goes P10, and Isaac goes coming around. He goes P7. 342 gap for Isaac. 604 for Lawson. Behrman is next. He goes 8th. Ocon coming to the line. It'll be Gasly. Gasly's on a cooldown lap. Here's a Ocon. Ocon goes 13th. Gasly going again. Sainz setting 11th. Fastest first sector on that lap. He's 485 back. Is Antonelli pitting? Here comes Stroll. Stroll is on an outlap, starting a new lap. Norris on a cooldown lap. And he doesn't look like he's going around. Doesn't start fast. Here comes Sonoda. He goes P14, 650 back. So we've got everyone with times now. So Ocon is the driver at risk, P15, 126, 824, gap of 822. Then everyone else after him is over a second. Colpino, Gasly, Stroll, Borello, Hulkenberg right now. Welcome Indonesia to chat. Looking at what you guys are saying right now. Yuki is struggling. Yeah, but everyone's struggling in that seat. Well, you can stop at Q1. No, I think he might actually get out of Q1 today. Getting a new round of pits and coming back out. We have a yellow flag. What? And that's a spin. Oh, which Alpine is that? Colpino. And he gets out. He spins around. He gets out of the track. So he managed to get out of the ground. He spins, hits. Oh, that back wing is broken. That car is dirty as heck. And the question is, so yellow is because, so here he comes around, that's turned 16, 17, he spins. Yeah, so last corner, Colapino goes over curbs and slides backwards over the back end of the grid boxes. And he goes into the barriers, but he manages to get out. But that back wing is broken. Oh, that back wing was bouncing already. They are doing a red flag. We'll see what is it because Colapino has stopped? Let's take a look. So we are in a red flag scenario. Hey, my counter is 2 now, apparently. Or is it 3? I'll have to go look. So, yep, red flag. Put a G in chat for Crash, everyone. This is your your harbinger of red flags has struck it again. Yeah, so Colpino has stopped on track. Yeah, they've told him to park, and that's because he probably has too much damage to get back to the pits. Yeah, Alpine has decided to have Colpino stop now because his car is probably not in condition to get back to the pits. It's not safe to get back to the pits with the way it is. He was going over. He was going over the curbs at the end of the lap and bounced and lost control of the car. So there is again turn 18. So he lost it at turn 18, the last turn, and then went into the wall, going over the last boxes of the start finish. So he can start P20. Let's put this in perspective. Right now, Ollie's P8. He will most likely get into Q2. If Ollie gets into Q3, he will start not Q20 unless he starts P10. So So again, Colapino crash. He has spun as he's done a couple times before already in practice. As it stands right now, Sonoda is the driver at risk. We've got Bortolo, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Gasly in the drop zone. Colapino is in the drop zone as well. So he is, again, out in Q1. He is right now starting 19th. Could be, I mean, if Gasly goes faster, which is possible, Colapino will then be starting 20 on the grid at the end. That would be start 20 at the end of qualifying before we take into account of we count the penalty, Ollie Behrman's penalty. Yeah, basically with qualifying time stops, we've got 6 minutes and 49 seconds, so essentially 7 minutes left to go in this session. I mean, that's huge. Right now, they've got his car on the back of a truck or a lorry, as you guys call it in Britain. For those of you who now's the right time to like and subscribe. If you hit the bell, you'll get notifications when we go live for every session. So for this weekend, the last one will be for the race tomorrow. But we do all of the practice sessions, the qualifying session, the sprint race as well. Again, earlier this season we did preseason testing. What the heck is a lorry? Yeah, me too, man. There's people who understand what that means. Now's a great time to follow on Twitch chat. If you follow and then you have your settings set up, you'll get notifications when we go live on Twitch as well. Facebook is its own, just like and follow Racing Tickets on Facebook, and you'll get notifications when we're live there. I have no clue how TikTok works. I'm actually not allowed to use TikTok due to my job. That's a function of where I live type scenario and who I work for. Has rain started? I don't think rain has started. What's the chance of rain in Q3? As this goes on, chance for rain gets better. Are you in the Secret Service? No, I work. I'm a public. I'm technically in the public sector, and my state has decided TikTok as a security threat. That's basically what it amounts to. And there's more rules involved with that. I had to take a test about it. It's something I cannot pronounce. Try to pronounce it. I can't pronounce that very well. My screen's going fuzzy. So one of the things that's going on with YouTube is that they, by default, they try and serve you the best image to the quality that you have, and sometimes it will drop and it'll be blurry. So there is a gear on somewhere on your screen that you can hit and set the quality, what resolution you want. And that's probably what you need to do. I have to do that a lot of times with several things to make sure I'm not getting, 420 or 320p when I need to see it at, at least 720 or 1020. Track is green. They did say so session will resume at 15:21. That will be in just about 2 minutes. Yeah, Alonso cooking. Alonso P3 early, in this early Q1 session. We'll see if this holds up in Q2 or Q3. But that came out of nowhere. Uh, be honest. Be honest with you. Aston Martin did not show up in any of the practice sessions. So to see Alonso in Q3 and in P3 right now, and only a tenth behind Oscar. That's something I think we point out. He's only a tenth. No TV broadcast for the preseason test. I know part of preseason testing is on F1 TV. We are about within a minute. So right now against Nudis, the driver is 126.62652. So he's a 126.6. I'm going to assume that anything 26.3, 26.4. I want to think Albin, who's at 26.39 and 392 is safe. The clerk, who's only 2,000 faster, would be safe. Science right now is a 26.487. So he's almost 0.5. So Science, Stroll, Antonelli, Lawson, Tsunoda must really go out and improve. Again, right now we've got Oscar, Norris, Alonso top of the board. Ooh, Oscar and Norris are coming out. These are bragging rights. We did have a red flag that Colapino basically lost control of the car around turn 18, the last turn, and went into the wall. He got out of the gravel pit, but his car was too damaged to get him around to get around track to get back, and so they had to red flag it to pull his car off the track. Sainz is the fastest first sector, but he's only 11th on the grid. So Albin, Norris, Borrello, Oscar, Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Stroll, Tsunoda, the first one's out. Yeah, there is rain. They're reporting some droplets in the air. So Oscar has only 2 laps of fuel on in the car. He is going for it. He was the first one to go out. Who caused it? Colpina caused the red flag. Oscar right now might have enough time to do a clean lap. What is the DRS detection zone? So basically, as cars come to those detection zones, if they are within a minute of the car ahead of them, they get what's called DRS, diagram reduction system. And so on the next green line you see, that's the DRS area. Yeah, Hamilton's saying the track is slippery. Leclerc, yellow flag infringement. Did anyone know what Leclerc did on the yellow flag, what they're talking about? And Oscar has bailed. And this is going to be so Bortoleto has to make a lap. Ocon, Hulkenberg, and Gasly have to make laps. Albon just went P3, did a 126.093. Oscar abandoned his lap. He doesn't need he doesn't need to to push the car. Hulkenberg gets up to 14th. Comes Bortoleto, comes up to 7th. Yeah, Gasly is in the pits. Verstappen going to top of the board with a 125.886. So Lawson is 15th, Tsunoda 17th. Hulkenberg is 15th, driver at risk. That's probably going to be it for him. Yeah, where is Gasly? The Gasly did not come out. He's now coming out of the pits. What are they doing with Gasly? So no, they noted the clerk, and then they decided to do no further investigation. Alonso, 4th, Behrman to 3rd, Ocon to 7th. Antonelli 8th. So Leclerc at 13th, Bortoleto is 14th, Sainz is 15th, Stroll is 16th, Hulkenberg is 17th, Lawson 18th, Gasly is 20th. Leclerc at 13th right now. He could be dropping if he doesn't make an improvement. Hamilton is only 11th. We've got 56 seconds left to go in this session. Hamilton is pitting. Oh, Hamilton doesn't have fuel. Oh my God, Hamilton's 12th. Clerk just goes 8th, pushes Hamilton down to 12th. Isaac goes up to 8th. That pushes Hamilton to 13th. What's at the 14th? Sainz in the drop zone, but he's on a flying lap. We got Anthony and Russell, but they are safe. Time is up. Russell goes to 10th. Here comes Sainz. Sainz goes at 8th. That drops Lawson. So it drops Bortoleto into the drop zone. And here comes Gasly. He's the last one. He comes across the line, and he knocks out Lawson. Hamilton survives by the skin of his teeth. So Copino is going to be P20. Hulkenberg 19th, Stroll 18th, Bortoleto 17th, Lawson 16th. Those are our knocked out drivers. Ooh. Hamilton survives. Yeah, Hamilton survives. So track is changing. It got wetter. What happened to Hamilton? Hamilton was told to come into the pits because he was running out of gas. Yeah, Hamilton didn't get a chance to do another lap around because he was told to come in because he didn't have enough gas to get around. So, oh wow, and I so we take out again Colapino. I mean, we look at P1 through P19. That's only 6.88 is the difference between 1 to 19. It was the gap, the difference between Gasly P15 was 26.328, and Lawson was 26.440, almost 26.5. So I was close. I think I was a little bit lower. I think I was like 26.3. I think I said early on. Hamilton did a 126.296. It was a point again, 26.3 effectively. Again, Hamilton didn't get a chance to go around one more time because he was running out of gas per team radio. And Franco Colapino is out being interviewed. If it rained tomorrow, it might be out. I mean, it'll be chaos. Lewis had no, yeah, because they don't want to overfill the car because that's weight that you're carrying and that's time that you lose. And unfortunately, that's you couldn't put a couple more liters in the car. Unfortunately, in that case. Where you watch the race online, F1 TV, ESPN Plus. I know Sky Sports has a streaming service. Can we talk about Behrman? Behrman did P3. Yes, that's good, but he needs to get in again. He needs to get into Q3 before we can really start talking about him. Because if he doesn't make it, he doesn't get out of Q2. He starts P20 on the grid, regardless where he starts. Let's go Copino because that's where he stopped. The map we're using doesn't remove tokens in that scenario. Yuki within 4/10 of Max. So Max was 125.886. Yuki was P13.389. That math is easy there, but still, again, that's 4/10. We need Yuki actually much closer. Way too close for Ferrari. Yeah, way too close for Ferrari. Oh yeah, Brazil 24 was crazy. I remember Brazil 24 because that was when K-Mag got his pole position. Reign the masters are the rookie Fernando, Ryan Max, Sir Lewis, and the Brits. Sir Lewis and the Brits, that's a great band name, by the way. Hamilton pole needle. Max Verstappen pole needed. Was it 22? No, it wasn't 22. Might have been 23 because I was on ear when that happened. We're talking about Stroll in the formation lap was awful for Stroll. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Tifosi's in attendance. Why is everyone yelling? Why are you yelling? You're in all caps. Lucas, why not? Well, there you go. It's finally started raining. Temperatures dropped from 35 degrees to 28 degrees. It's actually warmer than it was FP3 this morning. It was 25 degrees this morning. There's a whole section filled of Lando fans, and they're not in orange; they're in yellow. It's really weird. Out in a boat, just saying. Oh boy. It's not raining yet, but there is potential for rain. Yellow's the new orange. Go Lando. Lando's okay. Elliot's Salem in YouTube chat. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, my friend. Did quali start? Yes, quali start. We're waiting for Q2 to start, and it has just started. All right, 30 minutes. I mean, sorry, 30 seconds into. Yeah, 30 seconds into Q2. We have a green light. No one's out on track. What's going on? Yeah, Q2. You will see that the teams will be dodgy at the beginning of these quali sessions. I think is that Yuki or Max? That's Max coming out. Isn't that his sponsor section? He's been talking about a while. That must be his. I didn't know. I didn't know that he had sponsored a section at Silverstone. Um, Seeing it for the first time and in action has been very weird. It's weird to see it because it's just it stands out. That yellow stands out. So we got Max, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sonoda, Oscar coming out. The first 5 drivers in this session. Alonso is going to be 6 on the grid coming out, do their banker lap. So when you mean by a banker lap, they're getting a lap in to have something on the board in case something happens. Lime green is monster flavor. So Michael says that Max is on low wings and rain tomorrow. That's what the expectation. Is Lewis retiring this year? We don't believe so. We expect to have signed a multi-year contract with Ferrari. Fry, you're gonna have to tell me what happened in F2. Did that something happen in the F2 race before quali, the sprint race? So the only ones in the pit still right now are Russell Antonelli. Max now starting the first one to start a flying lap. Hamilton is next. To do with traffic though. Gasly and Norris are going to be in the way. Clerk starting his flying lap. Sonoda are starting their flying lap, and then we'll have Oscar and Alonso starting their flying laps. Max is the first one to go on track. He's the first one to push. Okay, Max has the fastest first sector, but that's by virtue of being the first one on track. Coming to the end of sector 2. Oscar is 7 thousandths behind Max in after sector 1. That's crazy. Display yesterday broke it and got arrested. Oh well. Tough to be that streamer. Hamilton has gone P2. He's 793 off that on that first lap. That's interesting. Max is complaining that the gear didn't go in. Max is, so first sector is taken by Science, second sector is taken by Oscar right now. Oscar's coming around the last two corners. Coming to the line now. He goes P2. He's only same time as Max, but because Max did his lap first, Max is P1 over Oscar. Alonso comes in P3. He's 391 behind. Leclerc did a second behind Tsunoda over a second. Sainz comes in 545, P4. Here comes Albon. P5, 573 behind Max. At the same time, they are. So again, when drivers have the same time, again, the times only go to 3 places. The driver who sets the time first is the one who gets the advantage over the other driver. That's the tiebreaker. And we have Keanu Reeves in the paddock today. And Keanu is here, likely to do work with the Cadillac Group. It's been announced that Keanu's next documentary in F1 will be about Cadillac. Norris to the top of the board, 125.3231. That puts puts Max and Oscar back 85 thousandths. Max is pitting, which is to be expected right now. It'll set him up for another. Run. And Tonelli jumps up to P11. Not sure why you guys are behind. You should refresh, because I'm watching off the Twitch stream at the moment. So Varel, you can't blame me when I'm watching the same stream as you. Russell goes 4th on the board. So that we have set time. So everyone has set time. So driver races Ocon at 10. He did a 125.940. That's 7. And then we've got 26.1 for Hamilton. Antonelli is 26.2. Leclerc is a 26.3. Gasly is 26.4. And Tsunoda is 26.473. So Hamilton and Leclerc in the drop zone. Yeah, what's happened to Ferrari? I'm not sure what happened to Ferrari. No one's talking about rain. It doesn't look like there's any rain at the moment. I mean, humidity is there, but there's no rain. We are about 7 minutes left to go in this session. Again, you're listening to the Racing Statistics channel right now. We are live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live. I believe we're on TikTok as well. And then somebody, again, will be on demand on multiple platforms as well. If we're on another platform and I don't know about it, tell me about it in Discord. We do have a Discord channel, everyone. Everyone's pitting right now as we are cycling out before the last go in this session. So it'll be another 2 minutes before they come back on track. At least 2.5 minutes. For those of you who are in YouTube, if you haven't liked and subscribed, now's a great time. You hit the bell, get notifications when we go live. When those of you are on Twitch, those of you who like the channel and then have your settings set up, you'll get notifications appropriately for how you want them. On Facebook, if you follow Racing Statistics and you like the sessions, you'll get notifications for them. Right now, we are under 6 minutes to go in this session, specifically 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Ocon is at the driver at risk. His teammate Isaac Bierman, Ocon are all at the driver at risk, essentially. They're all 25.93, 20.933, 29.5. They're all within within a tenth of each other. And if we extend that out, we can put Albon into that group. Albon and Sainz. So P6 through P10 are all within a tenth of each other. So I would expect all of them to be going out. I would think Alonso might be going out as well for security reasons, just to make sure he's okay. And here is one. I think that's Max, or the Red Bulls are getting in front of the Ferraris. So it's going to be Verstappen, Max, Albon, Norris. Ooh, what's that Williams doing? Jumping out in front of one of the Ferraris. It's going to be considered safe for some reason. And they are now coming back out. So Max is going to be the first one out on the grid. Albon second, Bierman third, Norris fourth. Sainz is fifth. He's the one who jumped out in front of Leclerc. Hamilton is behind him. So we're now 4 minutes to go in this session. Now they're doing the parade out to get back onto track. They are spreading themselves out as they come out of the pits. Hamilton is slow to get going. He's likely going to get... Oscar's complaining about how people were leaving their garages. Ferrari are new tires. That is that correct? Yes, they are on new tires. So they're on fresh tires. The only one, top four aren't on fresh tires. They don't need to be. They're not Norris, Verstappen, Oscar, Russell. They don't need to be on fresh tires. They're out there for bragging rights, essentially. And right now, Max started a lap, but he abandoned it. So he's going to go around again. He has definitely have time to go around, and this is a game of brinkmanship. He's probably going. Isaac, did Isaac screw up his lap? I think Max is still going. 27.8. He's 3 tenths off of Sainz's fastest lap sector. Norris is a tenth slower than Max. So Max is still going. I guess this is still a good lap for him. Max passes Tsunoda on track. Tsunoda's still on the outlap. And Max is going to go... He's only 85 thousandths behind Norris. Minute 23 to go. I doubt that Max will... That will be it for Max. He'll pit. Bierman jumps up to fourth. The 125.534. So Hamilton on a lap. Leclerc is on his final lap, and so is Tsunoda now. Isaac, Ocon, Albon, so Isaac and Ocon are on their flying lap right now. Here comes Leclerc. Leclerc is 13th. He jumps to P1. And then he comes to the board. He does not improve. Hamilton jumps to P1. Hamilton 125.084. Gap is 49 thousandths. Here comes Alonso. Alonso is on his flying lap. He does not improve. He doesn't do well in sector 3, but he moves up one position. Russell is P8. But he was on an out lap, so he's got a lap to do still. There's Oscar coming across the line. Does last lap was 125.5. Does not improve his time. He will be done. He won't be getting around. Here comes Tsunoda. 5, 4. He gets across the line. And he moves up to P10. He's a driver at risk. Albon is out. Isaac is coming across the line right now. This is his flying lap. This is his chance. Time has expired. He moves up to 11th. Albon and Isaac are out. Here comes Ocon. Ocon is 13th. He is on a flying lap. His chance does not improve. Gasly and Antonelli are the last two in the drop zone that we need to worry about. Gasly coming to the line. Jumps to 9th. Drops Tsunoda into the drop zone. So the last one is, I believe, is Antonelli. Antonelli's coming around. Sainz is out. Yep, he goes to 8th. Antonelli goes 8th. That drops Sainz to 11th. So we know who's out. It's going to be Sainz, Tsunoda, Isaac, Albon, Ocon. So Bierman right now still has a fighting chance to not start P20. Yeah, Yuki out. Sainz. What was Theodore Mark called? P11 is called like the tactical pole. Because you're starting the best you can without having to do Q3. Means you got an extra tire or two that you'll have for the race. So Hamilton gets P1 on this board. Again, that last round was was a moment of okay. So going into Q3, so again, the drivers who are knocked out: Sainz, Tsunoda, Isaac, Albon, and Ocon. The drivers who are in from reverse order: P10 is Gasly, P9 is Russell, P8 Antonelli, 7th is Alonso, 6th is Behrman, 5th is Oscar's, 4th is Verstappen, 3rd is Norris. Leclerc is 2nd and Hamilton is 1st. So we are seeing what we saw in P1 in practice. Oh, that was Max had a front view seat of everything today. That was Esteban locking up and basically stopping on the curb. On not only stopping on the curb stopping on the curb, but on the driving side. That's crazy. We are going into Q3 soon. Again, this is the Racing Statistics channel. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, and probably others. If you're watching on demand after the fact, thank you so much as well. We've got a good crowd on Twitch. Take a look at YouTube for a moment. Over at YouTube, we've got over 5,581 watching as we talk right now. Thank you so much. Bolty, you're late. You're here for Q3, Bolty, and it's probably the best time. Bierman for a podium finish this week. It's going to be hard because Bierman has, again, I got to remind everyone, Bierman does have a 10 penalty drop. So he has the ability to not start P20. Now, as it stands right now, Colpino is probably going to be a pit lane start given the damage to the car. Yeah, that's from the pit lane incident, yes, from FP3. And it's his fault, straight up. Yeah, there's nothing else we can say. It was his fault that happened. Yeah, we don't support pirate streams, illegal streams. Sorry. And if you actually submit, suggest that to someone, we have to kick you from chat. We are a watch along. We do not. You watch us along with the official stream, whether it's F1 TV, ESPN Plus, or Sky Sports, or wherever your local broadcast streaming service is. Could Lewis be on pole? Lewis could be on pole. He's looked good all weekend long, with the exception of when the session has been disrupted. That would be FP3 and Q1. And you have been saying this multiple times. We are starting soon, about 3 minutes. We got 839 likes on YouTube. Thank you so much. That is helping us with the algorithm. Hard to keep Aston Martin seriously as long as they keep Stroll. It's more a. It's not that Stroll's a bad driver. He's just an inconsistent driver. You're watching on Channel 4. Is there a reason why the Grand Prix is on Channel 4 and not Sky Sports this weekend in the UK? So it's because my local broadcast is racing statistics. We appreciate you too. And don't be wrong. I mean, that's how I started actually watching F1. Is in a more serious way. So I found these watch-alongs. At the time, they were on our sister channel, Data Visualized. Yeah, Stroll was knocked out in Q1. Let's go over. Colpino brought out a red flag and crashed out in Q1. Hulkenberg, Stroll, Lawson were the ones other kicked out in Q1. Then we had Ocon, Albon, Isaac Sonoda kicked out in Q2. Sainz and Sainz as well. Sainz is possibly no. Sainz is going to be P11. He's possibly P10. Depends if. Yeah, Sainz is going to be P10 because it's going to depend. If Behrman has to take pole in order to start P11. Any other thing but pole means that Sainz is going to be P10. So. Q3 is starting in about a minute or so, we're being told in chat. 15:58, so it's about now. And Behrman's going to be the first one out onto the grid. We got 12 minutes to go in this session. Again, we've definitely got a lot of time in this session, so patience is going to be a virtue right now. But 12 minutes to go in until we know. No. If you finish, pole is awarded before penalties are in place. So if Behrman gets pole, he will get the award for being P1, and then the penalty will kick in, drop into P11. Antonelli 3-place penalty. Where are we getting the 3-place penalty? I didn't see anything in race control. Let me just. I don't. I didn't know falling face. Maximum delta time. They'll waive that off. Yeah, the maximum delta time. They ignore that eventually. Yeah, so Antonelli's does. I've got nothing for Antonelli in race control besides the maximum delta time, and they're not gonna. Oh, it's from last week. Oh, that's right. I forgot about last week. So Antonelli does have 3 grid place drops. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me about the Austrian Grand Prix where Antonelli picked up that 3 place drop. So thank you. I had completely forgotten about that. I'm not sure what Lou is talking about in terms of fuel. If you finish the race and you've got less than a liter of fuel in your tank, they can't pull out enough fuel to verify your fuel, and therefore you are disqualified from the session, whether it's quali or in the race itself. And that's also a way to keep them from driving the cars to bone dry. If we saw Road America, like 5, 6 cars pulled off to the side of the road at the end of the race and stopped because they had literally run out of fuel. That's IndyCar we're talking about. Max has finished his first lap. Ours was up by a tenth. And finishes P1 by 271. So it's a 24.995. Wow, 24. Max at a 25.167. Oh, that's Norris. Then I'm sorry, I got so Norris, yeah. Max did a 125.267. Russell did a 26.43. Leclerc is now P4 25.292. Here comes Hamilton. And that is a 135 max. So Hamilton comes P2 135, 125.130. We got 7 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in this session, so more than half it to go. Gasly, the only one who's not set a time just yet. Expect Behrman's going to pit. And this time actually get into the pit. And Gasly is coming in P10, 127.063. So we're seeing our first round of pitting. We'll only see one round of pitting in Q3. Yeah, so I'm not sure what to tell you at this moment. I mean, Oscar's top of the board with 124.995. Hamilton is only 135 back. Norris is 172. Again, we're all pitting at this point. That's what's asking his floor to be checked. Bring him in. Again, we are under 6 minutes ago, halfway to go this session right now. Alonso and Gasly have yet to pit, but they will come back out again. Everyone's going to come back out. It's going to be another 2 minutes before we get that procession. Is it Transformer? Is it hammer time? Yeah. Oscar went over curbs. How bad with the sparks? There might be a little bit of damage to the back of that floor at the end of that lap. Goes over the curbs pretty hard. Yeah, and we've got 5 minutes to go in this session. No one out on track just yet. Give it about a minute and a half, and they will start coming out like flies all over the place. It's a matter who goes out first. Again, this is the Racing Statistics channel. We are live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Those who are watching after the fact on demand, thank you so much. Got a good crowd on Twitch and a bigger crowd on YouTube. Thank you so much. $9.28 to go before we hit 1,000. So thank you. Scott is here. He's throwing scones at me. If you guys don't know, Scott is another streamer. He does football manager. He is an Ipswich supporter, and his streams are about his Ipswich football manager save. And it's a great time to be had over on his channel. Thank for Scott for showing up and saying hi. And they are out on track. Antonelli, Russell, Bierman, Norris, Oscar. So there is. I don't think track evolution is going to be a big play in here, but it is what order you go out. It's going to set how they're going to eventually going to come in. So we've got Antonelli, Russell, Bierman, Norris, Oscar, Leclerc, Hamilton. Leaves Max, Alonso, Gasly. Alonso's going to be 8th. And they are trying to spread out to prevent traffic right now. So. But it is going to be. What's the best way to put this? It is going to. There's going to be traffic regardless where you go at this point. Gasly is going to be 9th onto the, and then finally Max. So Max is going to be the last one to set a time out of this group. Record this. Clerk, Hamilton, Alonso, Gasly, Verstappen. All right. Antonelli and Russell and Bierman have started their laps. You got a minute 40-second left. Norris, are they going? See, these guys had to have enough time to go around again. No, Antonelli's going. Yeah, so he's definitely going in this case. So is Russell. Russell's got cleaner air, less traffic. Bierman's going. Norris is going. Norris didn't start the lap well, though. Oscar's going. Okay. Hamilton, is Hamilton? Hamilton's got to go now. Yeah. So here comes Antonelli. Antonelli's going to be the first one to lock in his time. Antonelli jumps up to 6. Here comes Russell. Russell's going to go to P2. 125.09. Max is starting his lap now. Behrman's going to jump up to 8th. You got Alonso and Gasly who could jump him on this. But Behrman right now starting P18. Norris is going to go P2. Here comes Oscar. This is the last chance now. Oscar did not improve in Sector 2. Oscar did not improve in his time. So Oscar's still on positional pole. Here comes Leclerc. Leclerc looking good so far. And Hamilton's behind, but I think Hamilton's faster. Here comes Leclerc. Leclerc goes P4. Here comes Hamilton. Hamilton only goes to P4. It drops Leclerc to P5. Alonso, Gasly, Verstappen are the last 3 to set times. Last go for Alonso. Improves his time, but not his position. Here comes Gasly. He's the only one who can drop Behrman any further down. Currently P10. Gasly does not improve his position. So here comes Max. Max is P6. He's got a purple lap so far. Oh, here it comes. Here comes Max. Comes a line. P1, everyone. Max on pole and at his time. Max didn't improve in Sector 3, but it's close enough. 103 thousandths difference between Max and so a tenth, more than a tenth between Oscar and Max. Oscar North is only 15 thousandths. Russell, 19 thousandths difference. Then Hamilton jumps 2 tenths. Max. No one predicted Max in Twitch chat, so all our points are wasted. So, as it stands right now, Max is on pole. Oscar is P2. Norris is P3. Russell's P4. The Ferraris disappoint. This is disappointing. They lock out the third row, 5 and 6. Antonelli is going to be 7th. Behrman is qualifying 8th, but will drop to. So Antonelli is 7th. He's going to drop to. I think 10th. And then Behrman's going to drop to 18th. So Alonso, Gasly. I think Antonelli starts first, so he goes to P10. Behrman, Alonso, Gasly move up positions. So I think Behrman's starting P17. It's going to be interesting how they apply the penalties, which order. If they apply Antonelli first, Behrman goes to P7 and then drops 17th. If they apply Behrman first, he goes to 18th, Antonelli goes to 10th. So to be an interesting question. Yeah, there's a question of failing. They are investigation Anthony, Oscar, Hydra, Albin. Those are the look at the yeah. Those are Max Melton Delta time. Yeah, they're not ignoring that. Q2 incidents involving no further action, failing the Max Delta. They don't want to deal with that. So they were noted. And then they're not going to do anything more with it. And that's been how they've been handling it the past few races. So yeah, Alonso actually is going to move up 2 spots. Gasly's going to move up 2 spots. I believe Sainz is going to move up 2 spots as well. So Alonso's going to start on the grid 7th. Gasly's going to start on the grid 8th. And I think Sainz moves up to 10th. It's going to matter. It's going to matter how they jigger this. So. Yeah, out of fuel is an automatic disqualification. If you don't have enough fuel in your tank when they try and pull it, that's also a disqualification. So this is, again, But that's I don't think we're dealing with any of those situations. Again, this has been our qualifying session. I want to thank everyone who's here, whether you are on Twitch or YouTube. For everyone here on the Race Discus channel, we will see you tomorrow for the race. Grand Prix itself. Take care, everyone. This has been Grash. Have a good day. Rest well. And we will have a great race tomorrow. Take care.